Hey y'all, how we doing? Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to take a few minutes to get on here and talk about The Naked Gun, directed by Akiva Schaffer, starring Liam Neeson, Pamela Anderson, Paul Walter Hauser, CCH Pounder, Kevin Durand, and Danny Huston, and this follows Frank Drebin Jr., the son of Frank Drebin from the earlier Naked Gun movies, of course played by the legendary Leslie Nielsen. And this time, Liam Neeson is stepping into the famous legacy of the very arrogant and absent-minded police lieutenant. And this movie, obviously, I saw the trailer and especially coming into a franchise like Naked Gun, which has been dormant for over 30 years, and something that, from my understanding, I have only seen the first one, which is one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. I think, that goes without saying when it comes to any of the Abrams and Zucker brothers productions, but I think it is a franchise, from my understanding, that had teetered out by the time you got to the last Naked Gun film with Leslie Nielsen. So, it's one of those things where you look at the people involved, right? Seth MacFarlane, alright, I mean, he's done a lot of things that are hit or miss when it comes to TV and film especially. I mean, I think Family Guy is one of those shows that has kind of run its course, and How the West Was Won, is that the title? Or Million Ways to Die in the West. Yes, that's the movie. I heard very bad things about that. So I found it interesting that he had his name on this, but more interestingly, I thought that Akiva Schaffer, who did Popstar Never Stop Never Stopping, which I thought was hysterical when I saw it back in 2016, the fact that he was doing it in the same team from that movie and Chippendale Rescue Squad, or whatever it is, which I still need to see. I hear very good things about that film. It was quite promising because when I saw that trailer with the O.J. Simpson joke, I was like, okay. I'm like, I think we're in good hands here. And honestly, this team was the perfect group to bring The Naked Gun back to the big screen because they intrinsically understand what made the first film such a comedy classic. The absurd, over-the-top, zany humor with all these crazy puns flying left and right. Just very, very surreal and literal sight gags that populate that movie and just make it so memorable are here in spades. Sure, it's not going to be anywhere quite as funny as that original film with Leslie Nielsen, but man, if this is not the funniest movie I've seen all year, this is probably the funniest movie I've seen since Hundreds of Beavers came out. And that's a very, very high compliment because I don't think comedies are often hitting at this kind of ratio. I mean, the laughs are just so consistent throughout the entire 1 hour and 25 minute runtime. Very concise, very quick, even though I feel like by the end you get to start to feel the length a little bit, but yet again, it doesn't really overstay its welcome, and I wish more movies were this short. I mean, we don't get many of these films in this vein. A lot of the movies that we see nowadays are at least, 145 or more, which is not a problem by any means, but the norm is usually over 2 hours, so it's nice to have a nice, easy, and breezy watch that you can get in and get out of, and just have a great time while doing it, because, yet again, this movie works so well because the jokes are so elaborate and the gags are so clever. I mean, it's dumb, but, you can do dumb and still be clever. And I think that's another reason why those Zucker and Abrams films like Airplane and The Naked Gun were so successful, because they understood not only the jokes they were telling, how to deliver them, but also the audience that they were delivering them to. And so, of course, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but if you appreciate clever and well thought out jokes, The Naked Gun is going to be for you. And it's one of those things where there is so many jokes per minute and so many just great visual sight gags where I was in a theater by myself, unfortunately. I mean, I really think people should go out to the theaters and see this with a crowd. But that just happened to be how it was for me. And I looked at my phone for like a second, and then I almost missed the sight gag go across the screen. I think I got the punchline to it, but it's like, it's one of those things where you blink and you'll miss it. I mean, you have to be very attentive to what is happening on screen. But the thing that's also great about this movie is that the writers and Akiva Schaffer understand not to draw attention to those sight gags. It's just something where it's like, if you're watching the movie, it's going to reward your attention and give you some really, really great laughs along the way because of it. And I really do think that not many movies can pull that off, and I think that this one does it in spades. But let's talk about the cast, who really brings the script to life. And my goodness, if Liam Neeson wasn't the perfect choice to play this role, not only because his name sounds like Leslie Nielsen, I'm surprised there wasn't a joke about that in the movie, but this guy just nails that very, very straight comedic timing. I mean, he's taking it so seriously, and it's just so much fun for the audience because of it. And I honestly think that this might be his best performance in Schindler's List. I mean, look, I gotta see more Liam Neeson movies, so maybe that's on me. But my goodness, this is not just a cakewalk of a performance. Like, to have such specific comedic timing like this and really deliver it in the way that he does, it truly is an art. And I really gotta give him a lot of credit because he is so good. I hope he gets at least the Golden Globe nomination for Best Actor in a Musical or Comedy, because he absolutely deserves it, guys. And while, of course, it isn't quite the same as what Leslie Nielsen was doing, you don't want it to be, because the thing that's great about those Naked Gun movies, the original and of course this one, is they understand the storied history of these actors' careers. So, of course, the original one was playing more into Leslie Nielsen's very serious persona that he had on screen for years. And this one is playing into the idea of Liam Neeson being an action star. And they have so much fun with that, and they just bring it up to such crazy heights that I just, oh man, there's so many good jokes in this movie. But I think, yet again, it captures both their, like, presumed on-screen persona so perfectly that it really is just such a delight to watch. And the way that they update a lot of, you know, this stuff to the modern age. There's a lot of references that, you know, my generation will understand, but never in a way where it feels like, oh, we're just going to point this out. Like, they're actually in service of some punchline or some joke they're trying to tell. The hundreds of them that are in this movie, of course. But it really does feel like a very seamless update to the modern day, to the formula of Naked Gun. It feels very different in a lot of ways, but it still feels the same. And I think that's really great, just those differences that, you know, make it stand out, but still fit within a similar vein. And that's why I think this movie is going to be such a great success. And of course, the other members of the cast as well. Pamela Anderson on such a great career comeback. Like, who would have seen this coming? I'm serious. Like, she is so great against Frank Drebin in here, and her chemistry with Liam Neeson obviously has transcended off-screen as well, but on-screen you can totally feel in every single frame. Just every scene they have together is so much fun. And yeah, I really, really love what she did. I really am so excited to see what she continues to do next. I think she has great things in store for her for this part of her career. Paul Walter Hauser, another, you know, guy who's just in everything. He was just in Fantastic Four, The First Steps, and so really just love to see this guy in anything. He's so cool, and I think he plays against Liam Neeson so well in this film as his partner. He plays the son of George Kennedy's character from the original Naked Gun. CCH Pounder gets a few really great scenes as like the head of Police Squad. And I like her interplay with Liam Neeson. And of course, Danny Huston and Kevin Durand, the obvious villains of the movie. I don't think that's a spoiler at all. And yet again, they play it so straight that it works so perfectly for the movie that this is. And oh my goodness, there's so many great gags with them, especially right from the beginning. There's something with Kevin Durant I was like laughing my ass off at. But honestly, there's a whole other sequence in the movie which I will not even attempt to spoil, because the joy of seeing this movie is like experiencing these jokes for the first time, and I'm sure they'll hit, like, if you go back and see it a second time. But there's one sequence with Kevin Durant which has to be the funniest sequence I have seen in a movie in a very long time. I was laughing my ass off. I almost could not breathe. It was so funny. And that's a lot of this movie. Sure, not all the jokes are going to hit, but more than most of them do. And I was just having a blast in the theater by myself, just watching The Naked Gun, because it really is such a delightful, breezy watch from start to finish. And I will say, you know, there's a couple things. I mean, look, it's a dumb movie. We all know this, right? So there are a couple of gags that I thought, I'm like, oh, well, that's just kind of stupid, you know, logically speaking. And yet again, you don't come to these movies for the plot, but I do kind of appreciate when there's like a little bit more being given to me. And so, and I still have that problem with the first one as well, which I think is infinitely better. And I think that, and of course the fact that, you know, not all the jokes are going to land, and that's fine. They don't have to entirely, but, you know, compared to the first one, which was like a laugh like every single second, it almost felt, this one isn't quite up to par on that, and we shouldn't expect it to be. I think for what this is exactly what it needed to be, and I think it delivered on all fronts. I mean, I honestly cannot wait to see a sequel to this, and they have to make it, because look, I mean, Liam Neeson is in his early 70s now. He already said, like, he's not really going to do many more action movies, if at all. So this might be a great vein for him. You know, he kind of has the same career trajectory as Leslie Nielsen in some ways. Obviously, he's done a lot more than that, and we're all grateful for his presence, but I really want to see where they take this series with Liam Neeson, with Pamela Anderson, with all these actors and all these characters, because this is just such a fun movie. This has to be the comedy of the summer, no question about it. And yet again, continuing a really great streak overall, I would say, of great summer movies. And I'm going to give The Naked Gun an 8 out of 10. Please go see this in theaters. Please support big studio comedies like this, because this is not something that comes by every day. Because this is definitely one of those movies that you are going to enjoy seeing it in a crowd with other people reacting to what's happening on screen. And yeah, it's just really, really great to see a comedy, a mainstream comedy, be this good at this level. So yeah, definitely let me know what you think about The Naked Gun down in the comments below. Are you excited to see more? Is this the funniest movie of the year? And where would you rank it amongst the Naked Gun films? Yet again, I'm a bit of a novice in this department, but I think it would be safe to say that it probably is the second best after the original, if I had to guess, you know, based on what I know about these movies. And yeah, just an absolute blast at the movies. And please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more movie reviews like this one. I'm also still going to do the On Wax review of Tyler, the Creator's Don't Tap the Glass. So you music fans, please stay on the lookout for that. And so much more coming down the pipeline very, very soon. I will talk to you guys in the next one.